Hello everyone and welcome back to Vaps Hockey. Today I'm going to talk about some of the principles of functional movement. This three-part series is really going to dive deep into some of the fundamental concepts and principles that are built around functional movement. A lot of these principles either have arisen through the evolution of humans over the last 7 million years, and a lot of them have been developed and categorized at functional patterns. Again, if you ever want to check out more of their content, just check out their website, YouTube channel, Instagram. They have several hours of content that you can look at. Today I'm going to talk about the 3 pillars of posture. And if you ever want to look at the book that illustrates all 3 of these in depthly, it's written by Naudi Aguilar and it's called The Power of Posture. You might wonder, well, what's so important about posture? And so posture is just a starting point. It's more of an assessment of where you're at, and it gives you a lot of key signs into where your structure is and where a lot of dysfunction may be. And so again, a very good assessment tool, and it's a really great starting point for anyone really looking to become functional. And so of those 3 pillars, the first one is the T-spine, and so that is a thoracic spine. So that's the 12 vertebrae middle section of your back. And again, that's going to allow for a lot of rotation right through here. That's going to be really critical for rotation. It's going to be connected to a lot of your core muscles, and that's the first one. The next one is the transverse abdominis. That was actually one of the biggest issues I had with myself, and that's the TVA, transverse abdominis. That's the deeper core muscle. So you see, like the top layer would be when you see someone who has a 6-pack, or like when boxers, you see the boxer muscle on the side. The TVA is that deeper core muscle. It acts as like a cylinder, right? And it protects the spine, and it again allows you to have stability throughout all your movements. And that is something that really gets overlooked in a lot of training. And then the last one is the glutes, and that shouldn't be a big surprise. That is one of the biggest muscles in the body, one of the most powerful muscles in the body. And again, I'm not trying to say that you need to work on these in isolation, but these are 3 areas. These are 3 of the pillars when it comes to developing someone's posture, then moving on to evolutionary movements, or allowing them to move on into functional movements. So whether that be running, walking, lateral explosion, this is the starting point. This is the assessment point. These are key. These are 3 areas you look at, and so it's important when starting out to work on these. I've talked about a lot of MFR techniques, working on retensioning the body, and then somewhere you'd move toward the next step. Essentially, you'd be working on evaluating these 3 areas, and then seeing the disconnect between the 3 of them, and then figuring out how to get all 3 of these to work in association to allow you to move in a functional manner. So again, a lot of these areas, specifically the T-spine, gets compressed a lot. The TVA tends to be very inactive, and then for the glutes, typically what happens is the glutes are either dormant or they fire at the wrong time. The sequencing is completely off. So again, I want to give you guys a really good idea of what you should be looking at when you're looking at different training programs for the off season. I know the off season is right around the corner here, and again, I'm not trying to knock any other type of system that's out there. The goal of this is trying to give you the tools so that when you go out to look for specific systems, you want to make sure that they're evaluating the right things and you understand what you're doing. And I want to make sure that you're competent enough so that when you walk in and trainers are talking about all these different things, you can talk about things like this, like, look, like, what about this? I worked on a different evaluation system, and it really says that this area is not really functioning the proper way. Like, how is this going to allow me, like, are you going to train these type of areas? So it's going to gear you with questions that you can use to really understand what your trainer's trying to do and making sure that they're working along the lines of what functionality truly is. Again, some of this you may think is subjective, but a lot of it really comes down to what we've evolved over the last 6 or 7 million years. And I'm going to dive into that in the next video, which is going to talk about evolutionary movements that we've evolved from. Again, like they use that 6 to 7 million year number that seems to be the most consistent across the board for when you do your research on where humans really evolved into eventually Homo sapiens. So hopefully you find this insightful. If you have any questions, please forward. I'm really open to discussion. I love having these talks and really starting to get down the nitty gritty of like what functionality truly is, and it's always great having discussions with anyone. So please drop a comment, even a DM. I'm more than happy to have this discussion. Please check out my new website and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I look forward to helping you get to the next level.